Wow, Sunday mornings at wow. Feels like Saturday nights. Saturday night anywhere else. Oh my gosh. How's everybody doing this wonderful, glorious Sunday morning? Well, I hope you all are doing as good as you all are looking, because you're looking amazingly beautiful. Really, really. Don't be modest. Take it. Okay, so we are, guys, we are still on the same series, right? And you know me, like, I like to take what's been preached, pick things out of it. I relate with the bride, with you, so I try to see where there are areas perhaps where, you can probably understand a little more. So I think we're relating on the same wavelength, right? And then I bring in a bit of practicality, a bit of culture. Okay, that's how I roll, right? Okay, so in the background, yes, I am doing theology, etc., etc. And the more I go into theology, the more I kind of see everything that is being preached fit perfectly in the context of the parts of what God has planned that we see, because there's a lot we don't see. Okay, so it fits in beautifully, scientifically, psychologically, theologically. It all fits in so beautifully. So that's why sometimes, but then there are different aspects. Like when we talk of community, guys, when we talk of bringing things together, when we talk of empowering you, awakening you to your fullest potential, to your individual expression, there are different little hurdles we've come across. Okay? And those hurdles and those little speed bumps could be because of context that probably we are blinded to. You call it systemic because you've grown up in something and you just don't see, right? You don't see unless somebody shows you and gives you context. So I want to lay a few things out. I'm hoping by the end, not hoping, you will by the end of this very nice, short, packed word, right? Walk away with understanding a little more deeply, or having a deeper understanding of your character. Okay, what makes you unique? We're constantly trying to distinguish you, right? Differentiate you, but not in a way of like, oh, we're so special. We are special, but there's a reason. It's like the first time I realized grace is when somebody differentiated law, right? You can't just be nice about it and say, oh no, we're all one, it's all nice, it's all lovely, it's all beautiful, because then we would have never seen. Right? And so when it was clearly shown to us, we were like, damn, why were we ever standing in that place? Let's just run in the opposite direction, so to speak. So that's why we're constantly trying to show you what makes you unique and what makes you different. Now, in the process, you'll probably learn why people don't understand you at times. Okay? You'll probably learn why they don't understand you at times. Like, for example, if we're building you to be your unique individual expression, there's a lot involved there. It's packed. Okay? It means that we want you to be happy. It means that you can follow your passion, right? It means you can align your passion with your purpose. You can profit. Okay? It means you can enjoy yourself. It means you are free, you are at liberty. It means you can dress the way you want. Okay, it means you can make your choices in life, because those choices sometimes are unique to you and who you are as an individual. Okay, I can't take you and fit you into my little cookie cutter and make you look like me or like my idea of who Jesus is. Or do you understand? So now we're walking into really liberating territory. Who are you? Okay, who is your fullest expression? And suddenly you're like, oh my God, what do I do with this freedom? Right? But it's given to you by Him. Okay? And there's a fear, right? Because there's a fear, and it's you won't know it because it's a theological history. It's also maybe psychologically affecting people. But it's instilled in you and indoctrinated in you in some way or the other. And that is it okay for you to be happy? Is being happy narcissistic in some way, to seek your own happiness, right? If you're looking for your own happiness, are you kind of inflating your own ego? Are you kind of being selfish? And these different things are like deep down inside somewhere, right? And then and mind you, it's from the church. It is from the church, right? Because the church has taught us in some sense wrongly, misinterpreted Bible, okay? Because this is not original theology, okay? Misinterpreted Bible to the extent to say, if you are seeking your own happiness, then something is wrong with you. You need to selflessly give, selflessly. Have you been a part of the thing where you just have to give? You just have to keep giving and giving and giving, and you have no more? You have no more to give? Oh, then give some more. Have you heard that? I heard that at church once. Okay, I was like, okay. And then at that moment, you could feel all passionately, anything for Jesus! Anything, I'll give everything, take everything. And then suddenly you go home and life hits you and you're like, shit. Right? And then you've boasted, you've spoken about your God, you're so rich, you're so this, you're so that. And then suddenly you have to go to your non-believing relations and borrow money. Right? And suddenly you're the burden in the family. Right? Instead of a life that is supposed to be blessing and overflowing and abundantly helping others selflessly, right? I'm not taking the selflessness away. You're suddenly now leading this life of weight. You're the one who owes money to everybody. You're the one who's the burden in the family. They're wondering, who is this Jesus they're worshiping? Why do they keep boasting about this? They're rich, they're this, they're saved, they're whatever. Do you want him? Do you want him? No, I don't want your Jesus. Because look at your life. And doesn't that sound familiar? I mean, even personally, we've had a history where we used to run a factory at the time with other Christian partners, and it was all la-di-da and lovely. We didn't work on the Sunday, and even if the orders came through, we're never on a Sunday. Never. And you watch, God will bless us for our sacrifice. And eventually we went bankrupt, okay? A buyer actually played us out. And because we were feeling so zealous for God, we were doing something and it was selfless. We'll just keep giving and giving blindly. And that's what we're not about. When you walk in here, Kirby does ask for your life. He does. But there's a reason for that. It's not it's in the context of give of yourself, okay? And we have a right or a privilege to invite you into that, because what we're teaching you and building you to is not that old thing. It's not the disempowering thing, it's the empowering thing. If it was the disempowering thing, I totally understand your rebellion. I would totally understand your apprehension. I would totally understand your fear of control. I would totally understand any reserve you have in your heart to say, I belong to something greater here. I would totally understand if you want to cut off your coach and not associate with WOW and just claim, yeah, okay, I love God, he's somewhere over the rainbow, but I don't know these people. But we're not that move. We're not those people. And I have to differentiate that to you. And in the differentiation to you, you will hopefully realize, okay, so I don't need to self-protect. I can free fall. I can trust. Because this is not a move that tells you that your success in life is totally dependent on God. Now, let me qualify that, okay? So you're like, blasphemy. God is not some external feature in your life who you need to go to and say, bless me. Okay? He's not. Remember, all this is on the backdrop of the up and the down. Okay? Of the union and the individuation. Yeah? The union, the oneness with God, right? We are the Christ to the individual people, Shane, Amy, Andy. Individuals, individual preferences, individual likes, dislikes, individual personalities, individual expressions. Okay? So this is in the backdrop of all of that. And so we've come to this place where we are autonomous. Are we autonomous? Can you stand alone? How much in charge of your life are you? How much is in your control? Or are you outsourcing your problems, blaming your problems? Oh, that's a demon, it's a spirit, it's this, it's an attack, it's that. Why aren't you blessed? God hasn't blessed me. He's blessed this guy over here because he's white and I'm brown. I'm not blessed. It's always something externally sourced, externally reasoned. It's never in your control because you don't have authority. Or do you? Now, if we're calling you into a community and a culture that takes away that authority from you, I totally understand why you have reserves. I totally understand why you want to drop it all and run in the opposite direction. I totally understand why you'll forget the concept of honor and love and oneness. But this is not that community. And that is why we're differentiating. Because if we don't show you the nuances, if we don't tell you, church is not church. There are different churches. Jesus is not Jesus. There are different Jesuses. The Bible is misinterpreted every single day. And there'll be like legal police coming and telling you, you are wrong, you're wearing this shiny outfit and you are blasphemous. Or they'll tell you this is sacrilege. But I'm not saying hate them. I'm not saying separate yourself from them. I'm just saying no. Experience. Believe. Be. Rooted, grounded in that place of knowing. Now, another thing, right, that promotes change or behavior modification that came from the old or the wrong or the far from truth, let's say, is that change in a person is motivated by fear. Okay, so we're all fitting into a doctrine of what we ought to be and look like. And if you are not fitting into that, obviously we're not all going to fit into that. What does that look like? You're an individual. If we were all supposed to be cookie cuttings of Jesus, then the church, the whole church is doing it wrong. Everybody's doing it wrong. It's not something progressive. Why do we need the Spirit? Okay, because then it's just, it's something powerless, actually. You just copy. You study aspects you think that are him, and then you copy. And you behavior modify. There is no massive transformative role that is happening in you. We need Christ. There's no creativity. It's a dead, boring world. That's why the church is a dying move. Okay? Nobody goes to church anymore. They only go because they're fearful. The only reason anyone goes to church, mostly out there, is because they fear. There's something in them. Nobody's differentiated. They're guilty. They love. A part of them, obviously, you're made in his image. There's a part of you that yearns, wants, loves, but doesn't understand. And then there are people blindly misleading people to believe something else. And totally in the process misrepresenting who Jesus Christ is and what he did. Can we get Colossians 2:8 up? Now, remember, I'm not taking away from who Christ is, okay? And that'll be the accusation, oh my God, you all are individual expressions. Who is Jesus Christ then? Jesus Christ is Lord. He's Lord. He was the firstborn. Okay, because he showed us, because he did it, because he sacrificed, because he was that headship, the head, we now can form the body. Okay, we can form the body. But in a body, like we've been telling you, like you know, not every part of that body is the same. It's not the same. It doesn't look the same. It doesn't do the same thing. It doesn't like the same thing. It might have opposite roles sometimes that might be beneficial to the body as a whole. Okay, and without one cell or one representation of that body, how does the entire body operate? The only thing that unifies us actually, yes, is the head. Okay? Colossians, did I get it right? 2:8 and 9. Just look at that, because I don't have any other scripture to give you. No, I'm kidding. Because he is the head. Okay? And what we're doing is he is the sole representation. Okay? He is the express glory, the image. He represents the Godhead in all his fullness. Okay? Beware lest anyone cheat you through philosophy and empty deceit, according to the traditions of men, according to the basic principles of the world, and not according to Christ. Now listen, for in him dwells all the fullness of the Godhead bodily. In him dwells all the fullness of the Godhead bodily. And you are complete in him who is the head of all principality and power. So we're linked to the head, therefore we can easily say we're Christ. Okay, we can walk around fearlessly saying, I'm Christ, I'm Christ. I'm not Christ the Lord, because he's the head, but I am Christ. I am the body. My hand can say, I'm Fiona. Certainly want my hand to say, I'm Fiona, not I'm Tashali. Okay, I want you to do something. I want you to take your dominant hand, take whatever dominant hand of yours, left hand, right hand, whatever it is, right? I want you to now get into the feeling of this. I want the dominant hand. Now, the dominant hand is the authoritative hand, okay? It tells you what to do. The other hand has no power without the dominant hand, okay? Take the dominant hand and grab hold of the other helpless hand. Now, lift it up. Let the dominant hand, Mark, I'm watching you, you're not doing it. Mark's like, both my hands are dominant, I'm a man. Right? Lift up the non-dominant hand and just move it around the way you want, the way the dominant hand wants to move it. Left, right, up, down. Now, do you feel what the dominant hand is feeling? Control, right? Authority. Okay? Now, wait, connect with the other hand. What does that hand feel like? The non-dominant one that you're moving around so helpless? Controlled? Actually, your hand actually took on that position, right? It actually it disembodied itself kind of thing, right? It felt like lifeless, no pana, no life, right? Controlled, no mind of its own. This is what the old, the far from truth doctrine tells you are. Church. And therefore the body feels weak. It feels lifeless. It feels helpless. It feels dependent on this external dominant force to come in and take me to blessing. Save me from hell. Save me from death. Save me from this. Helpless, helpless, helpless. Open to any single whatever external attack coming in. But the overall feel of the body is, the overall nervous system of that part of the body is, it's real, guys. It's real. Like, I mean, I can tell you, like, before we come in for a meeting or we're going to go for something important, who you speak to before matters, right? You know, if that person goes, oh yeah, I mean, you were good, last time you were okay, and you suddenly walk, you're like, you feel it in your body. You feel like, oh, okay, I'm going in for a meeting. Yeah, don't mess it up again. You know, you always mess it up. So suddenly, what you don't realize is your nervous system goes, oh, I always mess it up. Oh, I'll try, but I'll try better. I'll try. You'll try, you'll say you'll try. It's in your head, but your body has collapsed. Your nervous system, it's like it's like that muscle test, you say, I'm Fiona, I'm Fiona, I'm Fiona. If I say, no, I'm Ezra, because I know I'm not being truthful, right? It's a weakness. And so that's what it is. So it's very real, like who you are as a person is fed by this word, which really builds you up and gets your body, right? This body which they call the body of sin, strong, okay, but aligned, not strong to run around and whatever, but aligned with the head. The head that is not bringing change about in you through fear. Like, I don't turn my hand, like, you do that again, I'll smack you. Like, my hand is not following me and doing what I want it to do because it's in fear. My hand is a part of me. Sometimes my hand might end up doing something that, I might not connect, but then I just learn and move on, right? So change is not brought about by fear, okay? And we're not fitting into something. Life is not led by doctrine. Life is led by the Spirit, the head. The head, and if you doubt what the head is and what it's saying, the Spirit is what connects you, binds you, pairs you, so that now you can operate, so you can prosper, you can be blessed, you can flourish, you can do whatever you want in life. So when we call you into a community, we're calling you into this perfect alignment and oneness, so that the success and the victory, the triumph, the position of the head becomes the portion of the body, so that there's no disconnect. Now you take that same model, right? And when Ezra preached, he showed you the tree, right? He said the branch is no one without the tree, and if you're plugged into the tree, then the tree will bear much fruit, right? And then he likened that tree to a community, to wow. Now, that's a very, very, very apt comparison. You can say, no, but that's Jesus, it's Christ. Hold on, if you don't recognize the people, the body, if you don't love the body, please don't tell me you love Jesus, because you don't see him. But you see me every day. I see you every day. It's very clear. It's very clear. It's very easy for us to say, I love the strawberry shortcake God, or I love, Smurf. Have you met Smurf? What has the strawberry shortcake doll done for you? It's like abstract. It's abstract. That was my era, guys. Nobody relates here, because obviously, what are we on? What are the latest? Yeah? Huh? I need to know what the young ones are playing with these days, okay? Oh my gosh. Nishan had put a post today. He had done a class reunion, a batch of 92. So 92 now is when Kirby and me hooked up, right? Hooked up, didn't get married, hooked up. And then I had to put a post because Isuru said, that's the year I was born. And then he had this paper Nishan had posted of what was happening in the world in 92. And like songs that were going on. Dope. Dope. And there were these songs like Achy Breaky Heart was #1. I'm like, I want to give you, I don't know. I was like, oh my God, memories, right? What was happening in 92? Now, how did I get there? But that's just crazy. So I'm trying to be relevant, okay? Strawberry, Barbie, whatever, I don't know. But he's not abstract, you see? And this is where it's wrong. He's not an external force, remember. He is in you, you are in him. Now, it's very hard to see this representation because of the way church treats people. It's a lot of hate, a lot of spewing, a lot of whatever, because church worships doctrine. It doesn't really worship God or love God, because if you love God, you will love the one that you see. Right? Even if Kirby looks different, even if Raj looks different, even if they say funny different things, even if they look weird, even if whatever, you will recognize the diversity of the body, because you cannot, as one person, as one church, contain the character of God. Wow cannot contain the character of God. I mean, we don't represent every nuance and every shade of who God is as a person. Clearly, we're just like the brightest part of him, but there are dark areas. And when I say dark, I don't mean bad. It's like the body has, you know, a head, a hair, hands, honorable, dishonorable parts. Like some people are the toenail that's like squashed and gonna fall off. No, I'm kidding. We are like a very central part, okay? And I'd like to think that, but there are other extremely central parts. I mean, you don't want to walk around with just a heart, right? Right? You want to walk, a body is made, its beauty in its fullness. Like, I remember when Kay was doing the breatharian, and he was going through a season where he had like many downloads, and he was really intense. Those of you who were more intense than he is now, who at the warehouse might remember those days, you know? And he used to be fasting for months and months and months and months and months. And then one time he wanted to go underwater and try to breathe underwater. I mean, crazy stuff. I don't even want to say it on the mic, because I'll have to put like a exclusion, safety clause, health and safety. But he was doing these crazy things, and he was propelled. And I'm grateful for that time, because it propelled us as well to push boundaries and look at, and I think we constantly come around those seasons. It's just that we're a little more mature in how we handle it, right? You don't like full on see like, bang, this is what it is. But I remember having this conversation with him and saying, "Kay, I feel that you're really like running, like you're running like very fast. And I don't know if I can keep up, or even if I want to. Like, I don't feel it's my place to be running beside you doing these things. I feel I'm more," and people can say, "Oh, Fiona, are you holding him back?" But I was very confident that I wasn't holding him back. I was keeping him alive, right? And I felt like he was in the up. I'm like in the down, boy kind of place, you know? And then I was like, what is the point? And we had this conversation. I said, both of us came to this conclusion. What is the point if you do the most amazing things in the name of God? Okay, in the name of whatever. And clearly he's filled with the Spirit, and he's touching realms that, I don't know, I mean, maybe some of us might dream of doing some, but what is the point if your bride is not with you? And that was the shift. You know, what is the point if one of you goes on to live forever and everyone else dies? What is the point? Honestly, alone, you think you're powerful. You think you can take some kind of glory, credit, or whatever. And that was on Kirby's heart. But I'm just saying, on your own, each of us, we succeed in different things. And we think, you know, but trust me, there's nothing like doing it for and with you. Passion has a purpose. And so, okay, just to give you a quick example where we're doing a lot of things at the moment. And I don't know if some of you coach groups have started doing that, because Kay had briefed the coaches and told them about basically aligning you now in getting your passion in place. So the coach group, each coach group, the coach and the VCs are going to get together, and they're going to align and put down like 15, 20, whatever things that they're passionate or curious about. Okay? And then obviously, I mean, WOW is formed in a way where we all said like-minded go to like-minded, right? So you'll have more people. Yeah, every tribe, every tongue. And in the beginning, people were like, why are you doing that? You know, everyone should split equally, and maybe it's sometimes it's a geographical thing, it's a convenient thing which coach group you're in, but most of the time it's who you kind of gel with, right? The divided tongues of fire, right? Not just one single, it's divided because it takes so many to form this amazing body, right? And so in the process, what we're doing is we have, WOW, Kirby and I, and where we're heading to. We have this massive transformative purpose. It's huge. Okay, we thought of something, it was so big, we're like, oh my God, that's so big. We multiplied it by 10 and made it bigger, right? And because it's such a God thing, okay? And then what we did was we're like now taking the coach groups and telling them, okay, now you come up with your individual expression, okay? Because that in turn, and then your coach group and everything, you're gonna have this identity grow. Right? It's gonna be something with your unique flavor. I'm excited, okay? It's gonna be your passion, the combination, the overlapping of characters and whatever with your coach leaders in play, you know, it's gonna be super interesting, okay? And that's gonna now feed you all to merge your passion with your purpose, which is then going to merge and feed the massive transformative purpose. Okay, which is then going to transform a nation, nations, millions. Okay, that's how big it is. Now, this model you will learn in the weeks to come because we're still in the process of training. This model you will apply to your life. You as an individual, Felician, as an individual will have his massive transformative purpose, he and Anita. And then they will have that massive goal for them individually, as a family, as a unit, as, you know, whatever their passion is. So that's not forgotten. That's met more powerfully in the process of this mass thing that is happening. This overarching force and purpose that's carrying you, that you are now a part of, so you're just going with it, and you're like, oh, okay, then I can have my purpose as well. And then suddenly you're going and you're achieving because you're caught up in this whirlwind that's carrying you, and you're sabotaged into success. And so that's going on now. That's one of the things. And so in that process, I'd like to tell you things like, once you become rich, once you become successful, once you start shining, do not forget the one who gave you the power to make wealth. I'd like to bring about a scripture like that on you, a principle, a very honorable value, so to speak, but not have you feel, oh, I feel controlled. I feel guilty. I feel, do I owe you something? Because this is not that community. This is not that place. This is the place that facilitates you. But in the process, do we forget what Christ did for us? He gave us everything. So much so where we can walk around. Honestly, I don't feel the need to stick Jesus' name in everything to prove my love or my adoration for him, because my heart, my conscience is firm and strong. I'm one. I don't need to walk around, like I said last time, saying, I'm married to Kirby, I'm married to Kirby, I'm married to Kirby. So one. Likewise, let's look at that from a position of community. When things work out, when your coach gives you advice morning, noon, and night, and you won't even take a step without asking your coach, and then one day you succeed, do you forget your coach? Guys, I'm not talking... Your fear is, you think it's control, it's money, it's material, it's glory, it's whatever. I'm talking just the basics of honor, of what binds you together, what keeps you as a body. Does the hand forget what the foot has done? Does the foot forget what the hand has done? Do we all forget that we are a part of this body whose head is Christ? And if his spirit is moving and empowering and giving life to you, isn't that the way it ought to be? Like I'm painting you a picture. It might not look perfect as we go along initially, but I'm not going to fit you into a doctrine. I'm going to say, just remember. Remember. I'm saying it because they're very practical issues. We have a new thing that we're doing because I want it to succeed. I don't want someone cut off. Or cutting themselves off. Do you understand? Like, I don't want like to move without a leg. Very hard work. Okay, I want us all to be like, mobile, robust. So we have something, Wow Economy. As you know, now, before I talk about Wow Economy, most church models are built with the people in charge are dependent on the bride, the people, the body. We're reversing that. Have you noticed? We're not dependent on you. In fact, you can be dependent on us. As long as it's not to your detriment. Yeah? As long as it's not. We're reversing that. It's called something that Christ did for you. It's called servant leadership. Okay? And so this dynamic gives us the ability to be able to relate without compromise. It gives us the ability to say, I choose you. You choose me. I don't need you, so therefore I'm not going to tell you that you need me. We choose each other because we are powerful beings individually. How do you know that? Because the Bible has been represented to you correctly. Okay? Because there is no self-protection and preservation here. Because the more you're empowered, the more you can say, okay, I'm empowered, tata, bye. Yes, jump in, Kay.
Why jumping right now?
Mike.
So that you listen very carefully, because Fiona is about to land this plane. And when she lands this plane, this is what you need to go out and tell people when they talk to you about Wow. Okay? The model, we're turning the pyramid upside down. That's what Wow is doing. Church has depended on people to finance church. We've never done that. We've financed this ministry with our own money from the beginning. Think about that for a moment. I want that for you. I want that for my churches. Because in a Sri Lanka that has an economic crisis, okay, if people have to depend, if pastors have to depend on their people who have no money to run their institutions, the church is going to be in big trouble. That model doesn't work. But Paul's model works. Paul is the author of the New Testament. He shows this model. And he says, hey, you know what? I can depend on you. I can depend on you giving me money. But he says, but I don't exercise that right. Paul says it very clearly. Now that's the model we need. And that's what we need to show off. And that's what we need to speak about. And that is one of the main aspects of our massively transformative purpose that Fiona says is going to affect millions and millions and millions. That's one of the main aspects of the pyramid turned upside down, servant leadership coming all down. In fact, even with resources. Now, God can actually do that for you. But you need to have the idea of how that should happen. Because if the top is giving, then it becomes really good governance. Not the fake thing, not depending on other people for it. Okay? And we are inviting you to that type of concept and mindset. And that is the mindset of Christ. The guy on the top is the greatest leader. You got it? Yeah.
I mean, guys, you all know the story. It's not that people at Wow don't give. Gosh, they give so generously. And Philip will tell you so many times how he was never made leader. Because he was giving, he's like, oh great, there's some problem here. I'm giving, but I'm not made leader. This is like a contradiction. But it was on purpose, because we're not going to make anybody anything because of giving. Do you understand? That's the way of the world. That's mammon. So you bring concepts like that, which the church is operating in on a very corporate level, and they compromise. And then they're not able to hear. They're not able to be led. Okay, so anyway, we're trying to now bring this model, like, as you know, our heart is also extended to the ADC, to the free churches. And sometimes it's tough because there's a lot of differences, as you can imagine. And cultural differences, everything, okay? So, but there's also a lot of dependency on people. And during COVID, the church has suffered because they couldn't meet, because they didn't have food to eat, they didn't have different pastors. And that's not how it's supposed to be, right? And so people are also going through difficult times. Now they have to now look after. Yes, you need to be there. Like, you should never forget the people who look after you, who over you, who speak into your life. My God, like, if you ever see me hungry, come and give me something to eat, please, right? But please, please. I've starved enough during Kirby's breatharian days. But that's, you understand what I'm saying? I'm saying the whole way the church is built, that formation is wrong. We need to reform it. Right? There has to be reformation, theological reformation, church reformation. Okay, so that now we can actually see the church as an attractive, glorious body without looking like the pain, the poor relation, the one that borrows, the one that's in debt, the one that's hungry, the one that's needy, instead of the one that's giving. Right? What are you bringing people to? They want to bring Sri Lanka to the Lord, to the body. The body looks like this. I don't blame anyone who doesn't want to be a part of that, right? So we're trying to bring dignity. And so WOW economy is something that we've started. And so the heart behind it is that, right? Not make money. Okay, so anyway, we're doing this. Roshit, of course, he's experiencing it on a day-to-day basis. Ezra Roberts. Ezra Roberts, I think Vimal and Felician, we're all like, this is what we're doing together. We're working together, but it's not on the model of just making money. It's on the model of bringing in your passion, your talent, the opportunity that was given to you to make a positive change because it's so in line with your purpose. Right? And to connect it to the people. So now we're going to build up the pastors, give them an opportunity now to be a solution in their neighborhoods, in their localities, where they, now in a time where food security is an issue, will be the able people to come and bring food. Yeah, to bring food at whatever reasonable price possible, to bring it and to supply it. In the process, they will also make profit. Right? Commodities, right? They will also make profit. And they will be actually a solution. In that process, they will hold and touch and earn money that they could never have dreamt of, right? Unless they were like running some mega church somewhere with millionaires and they were giving them, still dependent, the old model, okay? And you reverse it and suddenly now they have money. That's the hope, okay? It's working and it's working really well. But in the process, I'm noticing like a little entitlement, like, okay, come on, where is it? Well, you told me you're going to give it to me on this day. Where is it? I'm like, I don't know. Have we forgotten what this is about? I don't owe you anything. I've chosen. Just because money is involved here, I'll take my hands off. Yuck. When money is involved, people think they have. When people think that you're making money, and that doesn't mean you shouldn't make money, right? But it means you have to have authority. When they think you're making money, they think that they can control you. They think that they're entitled. So immediately, like, I don't care about the money. Remember, attach yourself again to the body. Remember who is the head. Remember what is this mechanism. Because honestly, we are better together. Alone, you can go back to the old model. Okay? And these are dynamics now we're dealing with on a day-to-day basis in the process of trying to make positive change. Okay? But that's coming from a place of, I was controlled. I had to go to an external God. Okay? Every change I made in my life is because I was fearful. It's from bad theology. But that is not this community. That is not what you are fed. That is not what you are taught. That is why your individual expression is constantly encouraged, because you are completely empowered to make your choices. And when you are empowered, you choose. You choose. You choose. And when you choose, honestly, I'm confident that you will remember. You will reattach yourself. You will remember. You will get into communion. Because, come on, if we are truthful about anything in our lives, if we can see, if we can remember, if we are teachable, if we've learned, come on, with everything in your life, hasn't it always been better with community? Okay, I'm going to end with this cool, which it's my kind of example because it's to do with training, right? But I felt it immediately in my body. And remember, we're talking about the nervous system. We're talking about it's better together. I'm talking about, honestly, no matter how much you think you can do it alone, your body is not going to make it as well as it would if it was attached to the rest of us. Okay? So I do this bike set. I've got a trainer at home, and the whole thing is about building power, right? So it like goes into like resistance, like watts, and suddenly your legs are burning, your head is burning, you're sweating, you can't see, you're fainting. It's like serious, right? So my meditation, and I do this often, actually, is sometimes you're pushing it, you're like gone into 1.5 hours, and suddenly you still haven't come to the hardest set. The hardest set is coming up, and there are 4 of them. So you're like, I can't think about it. I can't, but I've got to finish it. I've got to finish this. And so now I've come like with the greatest difficulty to the last, and it's only like the last 15 minutes of the whole thing, but it's the most important. It's the red zone. And you got to repeat it 4 times. And you're like, I don't know if I can do this. Like, honestly, I've given it everything I have. I don't know if I can do it. But somehow I think, okay, no, my coach is going to know. He's going to know. Right? He's been training me. He's going to think, oh, she's weak. So then I'm like, okay, I'm not weak. I can do it. And so then I get through one set, like one of the red zones, right? And then suddenly I'm like, okay, I can't. I just don't know how I did that. I can't do the other 3. There's no way, it's impossible. But then, and I'm thinking, yeah, and it's on Zwift. Zwift is like a virtual cycling kingdom. Who knows? Who cares? I'm just a blooming avatar, right? So I'm like, I don't care, but somehow you dig it. Anyway, now I'm on to the final. I somehow managed, I'm on the final red zone. Honestly, my body is given up. It can't. The mind has tried everything under the sun to now finish this set. Okay? I've tried everything about me. My training, my goals, my success, my ease, my everything, my reputation, how I look, my glory, everything. And I'm dead. Literally, I'm dead. Trust me, you're dead, right? And then suddenly I go into this meditation. There's a huge catastrophic destruction, okay? All the wowers were on an island, right? And the only way to get them off the island was on this cycling device, okay? Where you can put like limited number of people into this little cart and you have to cycle, and it's like, it's through water, funnily. I don't know why water's involved. And it's like choppy and this, but it's like, it's hectic. And every one of y'all have done your bit. Those of you who can cycle, right? Some have done two rounds, right? 2 rounds, 3 rounds. Yeah, Roshit and all, Roshit has done 2 rounds, 3 rounds, and now we've also done, okay? We've also done 2, 3 rounds, Kirby's also done, whatever. But now they're gone, they're cramping, they're bleeding, they're whatever, everyone. But oh my God, have we got everybody? Have we got everyone off this island? Who's there? Remy and Fifi. But Ro's cramping big time. Ro can't do it. Tashali wished she had trained. She didn't train. She's like, shoot, I should have taken Fiona's advice. Why no? I never listened to Fiona. Everyone else is like dead. Now I'm also dead. I'm dead. I don't know how. I can't see it. You know what I mean? I'm just totally gone. So no one is there. Anyone? Shane? Amy? Nobody. Come on, somebody able. Somebody do it. Somebody. It's not like they haven't tried. They've tried. There's no one else righteous out there. They wish we all burnt and drowned. I'm like, I'll do it. Right? So now I have to cycle there. So that was the 3rd one, right? Now I picked up Remy and Fifi. Remy's got this glazed look on her face. She's spaced out. She's just gone into like shock. Fifi is wearing that onesie. She wears a onesie with the unicorn thing. And she's looking at me. I know we can do it, Auntie Fee. Well, I'm glad you believe in me. I'm glad somebody, because I'm about to like drop dead here. And I just pushed. Suddenly, when you see their faces, when you hear the screams of all the wowers now rescued on the other side, this is my meditation, guys, right? It's very real, okay? You can hear the screaming, all the wowers, come on, save Fee, save Remy, come on Fee, Profi, you can do it. I'm like, I can do it. Suddenly my body gets like power, energy. I'm telling you, suddenly this body that was dead, there is no option. There is zero room for me to fail this. And suddenly, what I could have failed and was going to fail doing on my own as an individual, because I had honestly exhausted everything in me. There was no trying. Trust me, I can hold a lot of pain. But I couldn't anymore. But the thought of being a part of something greater than myself, to have people who believe, who walk with me, whose lives are shaped, I shape theirs, they shape me. Right? To have this connection, this dependency, this oneness, this community, this love, this family. There was no turning back. I'm like, Fifi, Remy, let's do it! And then suddenly we're like, boom, the fastest finish. Legs ready to go again if I have to. I'm telling you, the nervous system, and this is important, this body, okay, gets stronger. It'll take you on to greater things. It'll take you on to longer life. It'll make you make decisions about your health that you have never made before. It'll make you realize that your life has meaning, has purpose, greater than your individual achievements and like feeding your family for generations. Trust me. It connects. It makes sense. You feel like you are home. Okay, so that's my personal meditation, which I feel physically in my body, but I'm telling you, on every single scale and sense of it, you are better together as one. Okay, and there is no reason why you need to turn away, no reason why you need to fail or fear. I'm not saying everyone here, all of us are perfect, but I'm saying our head is perfect. Our head is perfect, and we will work along, and we'll move, and we'll change, and we'll learn, and we'll teach, but we'll stick together. Okay? So that is, I feel like I've just done my bike ride. Okay, that is it, right? Now, I want you guys to also be very conscious and realizing in the theme and the whole story, narrative of the community and the body and the oneness, do you know that there are people praying for you every day? Now, it started with the elements. We were doing it at Galadari. Then it picked up real big force. After Union, even the Wildlife World is doing it. I mean, they do it so beautifully. They're so committed. There's even a short song that they've done, which I actually want the boys to play for you now. But not 1 second. But I want you to see and link, remember, if you're having success in your life, if things are changing and shifting, if there's more hope, if there are glimpses, there was nothing possible at one point, but suddenly you're noticing little changes, shifts, sparks, and something's moving and shifting. Understand, it's linked. It is the prayer that is going up, and then coming down. It's a manifestation about to birth. So it's looking for this tree, this body, this stillness, so that it can now flow through. And you can be moving around like headless chickens not knowing, but that's what's going on. So attach yourself and be a part of that torch. It's a very short, we say 3 times a day. So, I don't bang on do it 3 times a day unless I'm assigned for that moment to do it. But I definitely do it every day. Right, at some point. And so before the bandies come up, and I think I want the people who's holding the torch now to come up, because I want us to join together with what we have learned. right? With a reigniting, a realignment of what we've learned. I want us to all join together in prayer. But before that, I want you to hear this really short, simple song done by Joel Gerdis, right? He's Seraphim. And he did this to aid people into prayer. It's short, it's sweet, but actually the Americans wanted something longer. So they've actually got a longer one, right? And they're actually pouring out their hearts, remembering and thinking of you. We are Wow Nation. Across all borders, this body. And there are people praying every day to shift and move for your benefit, for your protection, and for your lives, okay? So when you're watching this, together with watching it, believe, attach, be conscious, and wish, bless, pray alongside these words, okay? Shall we do it together? Yeah, okay. This is how easy it is to pray, right?
Love and all his light, I apply the blood over all wildlife, over Fiona.
Come on, conscious.
Kirby to Lanaro. I apply the blood as a firewall, as a firewall.
Consciously thinking of the body, the leadership, the coaches, the coach groups, all of you, all the family.
Over every leader from here to Sri Lanka,
They're thinking of us.
I apply the blood as a firewall. Over every coach, I anoint them with love. I apply the blood as a firewall, as a firewall. Wildlife family,
You guys.
all across the globe, I apply the blood as a firewall, with protection, favor, wisdom, and love. I bless you all by the power of his blood, with protection and favor, wisdom and love. I bless you all by the power of his blood, of his blood.
That's all it is. Isn't that lovely? Isn't that meditation wonderful as well? The firewall surrounding all of you so that wherever you go, whatever you do, you're surrounded by a firewall protection. Angels with you. With every single thing you do, you are beheld consciously into this body. Isn't that amazing? Wow. Okay, so can we have the ones, our local teams who are holding the prayer torch, come up and come on, we can always do with a little more prayer. Come on, everybody join in consciously. Let's get this going.